I look rough right now, and I'll tell you why. When I was 8 years old, I was molested by my stepfather. Then I believed in Jesus. I believed in Jesus. I believe all my life. But when that happened to me, it started snatching things away from me. My self-esteem, my happiness, my ability to be able to brush off the evil of this world. It became hard. It was as if I was constantly tortured. You see, when it happened, I was asleep. I was 8 years old taking a nap. From then on, my sleep was tortured. I lived with that man till I was 18 years old. Always doing something. He was always doing something. But I had a hope. I had a hope that someday I wasn't going to have to remember that anymore when I got to heaven. Yes, I still believe in Jesus. Because I saw the evil part of the world at 8 years old. I was born in 1968, and it's now 2021, and the evil is 10 times worse. Now it's just a commonplace. If I didn't have hope, and I do, but if I didn't have hope that Jesus Christ was coming to get me, what would be the use? Because every day, especially in the summer, because that's when it happened, even at 52 years old, I suffer with this. Flashbacks. I can't help it. It just comes. It's not that I try to think of it, because believe me, I try everything I've got not to remember it. But before I know it, it's there. It happens when I talk to my mother, because she's still with him. There's times when I don't want to be with anyone but God, because something someone can say can just bring that memory right back up. And there's more than just one memory, because he did way more than that. This is a sensitive topic, I know, but it needs to be confronted. At the age of 8, I didn't even know what the men's genitalia looked like, and he showed it to me. It's disgusting. But Jesus loves me. Jesus doesn't want me to be treated like a piece of meat. He doesn't want me to go through this. And given the times we're in now, and it's 10 times worse, where it's okay to kill babies, where there's not a very strict policy or not a very strict punishment for molesters. What do you think God would do to me? Every day I struggle with the fact that he's still walking this earth. I struggle with the fact that, how is he still here? How does he get the same freedom to accept Jesus, if he even can, that I do? It's not fair to me. But it's God's way. Forgiveness has to be for you. And it has to be done through Jesus, because there's no other way that I could forgive. Someone like that. I no longer have to see him by my choice. But it took me a long time to get there, as if I thought it was normal. But I didn't know any different. My father died when I was 18 months. I didn't know what a father was supposed to be like. Maybe you don't either. But I read the Bible, and I see the love of a true father. That knows justice. That knows what was done to me was wrong. But it was covered up and made to seem like it was normal. God wouldn't have done that. God wouldn't have made me have to endure what I did even after I told. You see, I told. A few months after it happened to me. And I was only 8. It was torturing me. I thought it was my fault. Jesus would never have had me go through something like that. He would have never allowed it. You see, Jesus doesn't just take us out of the situation because we live on a world where we're given free choice. And unfortunately, the choices by our parents sometimes are the worst. It caused me not to be that great of a parent. I didn't hurt anyone as far as molesting them or anything like that, but I wasn't always present. You see, sometimes when some of these things come back up to my thinking and the flashbacks happen, I kind of just sink down into myself, and I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to be with anyone. I can't wait till God comes back. And I know deep within me that it's very soon. The evil that I endured, and it's 10 times worse today, probably even worse than 10 times. I know God will not allow that to go on. You see, it's not just America that's bad now, it's the whole world. I felt like I had to get on here and tell someone what happens and how you feel. Because it may be you that feels this way too. Cry out to Jesus. He's the only relief I get. To hear of a love that's unconditional. And it's not just fable. It's in the history books. The Bible is our history book. The evil that roams this earth is because of jealousy. From a being that was created and was supposed to be the main worship leader of heaven. And what did he do? He turned his back on God and wanted to be his own God, just like men are right now. Reiki, yoga, all this stuff that's supposed to enlighten you, all it will do, because I've tried it, is open the door for something that you don't want. I've opened that door. And trust me, you don't want any part of it. If you've been molested, if you've been raped, it's not your fault. And Jesus does love you. It may not feel like it. It may be even scary to accept something like that. If you were anything like me, I grew up around knowing about Jesus. But it took a long time before I was able to give my total self to him because I was so scared. He was a male figure. I could have used molestation as an excuse for many things. And sometimes I did. But God was still there. He was always there. Don't delay. Don't delay in accepting Jesus because we don't have much time. We really don't. Sure, you'll say, oh, they've been saying that for years, but now is when the last few of the prophecies before the Antichrist, they've been fulfilled. If you ever want to be free from the torture that you feel from what's happened to you, your only hope is Jesus. I can talk to him and tell him anything, and he already knows it, and he already knows that I need it. You see, I'm 52. It happened when I was 8, and when I have flashbacks, it's just as if I was 8 again. I've never been free from it. You can't. There's always going to be a memory there of something. You can't ever escape it. The only way to really escape it is Jesus. I keep striving and I keep fighting because I want everyone to see that Jesus is going to conquer this. And when I am up in heaven and I get to hug the one that really did care about me, it'll all be worth it. You see, people a lot of times think that I'm okay. I've been in the psych ward at least 3 or 4 times. It's not a failure. It's like a timeout because your mind just can't handle everything going on. I'm going to tell you right now, without Jesus, there is no hope. I'm sorry. Take it from someone that's been there. Without Jesus, there would be no happiness in my life. You see, I don't have a husband. I tried that 3 times. I lost my house because of the last husband I had. But Jesus still saw fit for me not to be homeless somehow, some way. This apartment has become my safe haven. And I didn't even fill out an application for this apartment. It was just, God just brought me to it. No, it's not coincidence, because I prayed ahead of time. If I hadn't, and I hadn't sought what God wanted for my life, I would probably be homeless. And no, I don't have a perfect life. Who does? Not in this world. It's impossible. I can't even say that I have a happy life. I can't say it because I live here in this world. If I have any happiness at all, it's in my children and my grandchildren. And sometimes I can't even be around that because I'm feeling so rough that I can't act normal. What is normal? I don't even know what normal is. But I have Jesus. And I know very soon it's going to be all worth it, because I'm going to be with him. And so are all the rest of the people that believe in Jesus, because he's coming back soon. The Bible is 100% accurate. All you have to do is look it up. The prophecies that were told in Isaiah, Ezekiel, and all the other Old Testament prophecies have already been fulfilled. Most. I've seen things, happy things from my Lord. Not too long ago, I just started having visions. I had a vision of a timepiece, clock, or whatever it was. And the hands were moving fast. I wasn't asleep. In other words, time is short and it's flying fast. I struggle with to do this or not, because despite that it's happened to me, I get flack. And I shouldn't get flack for trying to help and speaking to people about Jesus, but I do. My life would not be worth anything without Jesus. I can't even say I'd be alive if it weren't for Jesus. See, I tried to end that too. Maybe you have. Maybe you've tried and it didn't work. And you're wondering why. Why were you left here? That's what I wondered. I wondered why he didn't just let me die, but my two little girls hated me. And they still do. But it's hard. I struggle every day. I'm not going to tell you that I have good days, because I don't. Not much. I really don't. I mean, I have good moments. But every day, just about, I have a flashback every day. Nobody knows this because I don't tell everybody. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear about the bad stuff. So I talk to Jesus. Guess what? He'll hear everything you have to cry about. He'll hear it all. Because people didn't accept him either. People tortured him too. The very people that were supposed to be his, the Jews, refused him and killed him. That's the world we live in. And think about that then. That's been over 2,000 years ago. And it's gotten worse now. You think you're going to escape this? This world is coming to an end. Your only hope is Jesus. That's your only hope. Cry out to Jesus. He'll hear you. You see, you can't be good enough. It's impossible. You can't do all the right things. It's impossible. But when you accept Jesus because he sacrificed himself for all the dirtiness that we have on us, that's all he sees. I call it the Holy Spirit seal of approval. Because once you accept Jesus, you're sealed. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, because it won't be. But in the end, you get to live forever in the best place there ever was. There is hope. But you have to search for it through Jesus. You have to admit that you're dirty, that you're a sinner, and that you do things you're not supposed to do. And then you have to admit it and say you're sorry. And I'm not going to say everything's going to be very easy after that, even for you to not be bad. But it's more worth it. I was sitting, actually I was trying to take a nap. Didn't succeed. Had a flashback. But I was thinking, each one of us have a purpose. And not to say that my purpose was to be abused. That wasn't a purpose. But when you live in a dirty world, you're going to have trash get all over you. When you live in a dirty world, that's what happens. The only way to get clean is Jesus. But I knew that my experience with Jesus is probably a little more unique than some people's, or at least I'm willing to talk about it. And that if I didn't talk about it, I would be doing many people that have also been abused a great injustice. Because they need hope. Because if they're struggling like I am, your only hope is Jesus. It's not in a girl, a guy. It's not in a club. It's not in money. It's not in anything but Jesus. That's your only hope. Because all those other things, they go away. I used to have money. I used to have a big house. It's gone because of men. Cry out to Jesus now while you still have a chance. I don't know how long. I don't know what day. But I can guarantee you it's a lot closer than it was when I was born. That was in 1968 and it's now 2021. I'm going to tell you, we are closer than we have ever been. All you have to do is search on YouTube and look at all the dreams and visions people have had. Because if you don't, a world of hurt, hate, and crime that you've never seen before is awaiting you. It's not going to get any better. Don't fool yourself. Don't put your blinders on pretending that everything is going to be okay. It's not. This world is only going to get worse. We're going to have famines. We're going to have horrible things happen, as you can see, are already happening. All that to say, instead of lashing out in anger because of what's happened to you, smack our enemy straight in the face by surviving